G'day guys, welcome to a new episode of Bogan's Guide to Wine. I'm Sampy.
And I'm the Cue Ball.
Today, Cue Ball, we are going to have a crack at a Margaret River Shardy.
Shardies are good, mate.
These are
underrated at times. There was a time where, of course, every man and his dog was drinking Shardy, including me. I went off them for a while, but I'm rediscovering Chardonnay, which is good.
I've always been a bit of a fan of big creamy Shardies, but I've already stuffed up, so that's a good start for the first episode of the day. These guys are actually from Geograph, not Margaret River, but yeah,
well, it's the same rough area in that
stone's throw.
southwest.
But yeah, Geograph. Love me a bit of Geograph, and I often say it is the most underrated wine region in Australia. Lots of cheap stuff, and they do interesting varietals and stuff down there.
Hang on, if it's underrated, should we be telling them about this?
Keep it to
Should we
ourselves.
keep it ourselves?
Yeah, keep it to ourselves.
Yeah,
Nice and
okay.
So are you familiar with Fifth Estate at all, Dave?
Mate, I have run into Fifth Estate at a couple of different tasting events over the past few years.
So
and
I see you've met Jess and Julie.
I have indeed, a very, very lovely couple of ladies, and obviously very knowledgeable, and always happy to have a chat, which is great.
Mother and daughter team.
Exactly.
Yeah, always. Jess seems to stand out at the odd. She's a pretty young Jess.
Very pretty young lass.
And so is her mum. Julie's an awesome thing
And
as well.
Julie's an absolute darling, and there's no two ways about that.
So we've embarrassed the girls enough. So
Okay.
the Fifth Estate labelling. What do you reckon about that?
Mate, I do like their labels. They're very simple. There's nothing overstated about them. It just gets the message across nice and simple. Winery name, varietal.
Yeah,
Region.
straightforward. The fifth, I wonder what that little slash in the fifth is all about. Like, I wonder if that's maybe a fifth of the.
It could be
Number's been chopped
it could
away,
be a
maybe.
fifth of the number is actually missing.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah, like I say,
Proportionate.
it's very straightforward. All the information that you need sitting right there. Would that jump out? With the subtleness, does that jump out to you?
I like quirky labels, but subtle works as well. So, on the occasion, I will actually look for something that's quite simple and quite basic because of that understated nature, which says that they're putting more emphasis on the product rather than the marketing.
Yeah, exactly right. So the money's being spent in the right places, not just up
Exactly.
some yuppie designer.
Definitely.
And speaking as a yuppie designer, I know exactly where they're coming from.
Well, that's you.
So, how would you describe this colour, mate? Now,
It's quite pale.
and what is it? Just the table that was sitting on, or is there a hint of green through that? Like a bit of lime.
No,
hint
there
of
is
lime
a there
through
is a
there?
bit of green, especially towards the edge there, and it's lovely, light, pale straw.
When you put it up against the glass, it's almost there's almost no colour once you put it up against the card there. Once you've got a bit of a white background, but
Yeah,
up the thing, it's very light straw. It's got a nice kind of viscosity that it's not overly oily, but
no,
It's
there's
sort
a
of
bit
there,
of legs
yeah.
there, but nothing great.
so speaking of legs, what are you going to call that alcohol level, mate?
Mate, I'm thinking because there's not a lot there, we're probably going to go about 12.5, maybe 13.
Yeah, there's not a heat there, but they are coming down pretty thick, and if you give it 5 seconds, I can see mine starting to drip down.
It's
drippy.
drizzling very nicely.
I'm going to... Oh, Chardonnay. What'd you say?
12.5, 13 tops.
13 tops. Yeah, okay. I'll just for point of difference, I'll go 13 and a half.
All right. Let's see who wins this.
Than that. 13.7.
Oh! Some lovely citrus there, straight up.
Yeah, oaky citrus and lemon and
I
almost
think the left nostril's a little clearer today than the right.
almost there's a sherbety sort of background in there as well. If you get that at all, well, there's some sort of pop behind that citrus.
Pot? I'm not smelling that.
Pop.
Oh, pop. Cheers.
Now this is normally when we do the show, I'm sort of either overly prepared or not prepared properly. The wines usually, my whites generally come out too cold, but this is, I think, just the right sort of temperature, so we're getting the right
It's a good temperature
the
because
intended experience.
we're actually discussing beforehand about the tendency to serve our white wines too cold. and this is not quite room temperature, but that's probably about 12 to 15, which is a good temp.
Pretty much a spot on, I reckon.
Good temp. So there's it's opening up nicely.
I reckon if this was any colder than what we've got now, there might actually be a little light on the taste because
Yeah,
it's from the nose. I was expecting it to be a lot more monstrous. You know, a bit
you want to grab you a bit more, maybe
Yeah.
get the claws in.
And it is, and it is nice. Well, it's very nice, but I reckon if it was a bit too cold, you might come away a little bit disappointed because it might restrain some of that palate feel that you're getting at the moment. What do you think?
There's some zestiness there.
It's not.
It's soft.
Yeah.
It's soft and it lingers nicely. More on the cheek than the tongue,
Yeah.
but still subtle.
Yeah, it's actually a bit of a unique beast, really. It's got a little bit of it teases you thinking it's going to be a big oaky thing, and then when you taste it, it's not quite that
Not
thing,
quite
but it's
what you're
also
getting.
not the other way around. It's its own creature.
Yeah, no, very nice.
All right, mate, final verdict. What do you think of the Fifth Estate Shardy from Geograph?
Mate, very enjoyable. As I said, there's not that buttery finish that I look for in a really phenomenal Chardonnay, but there's so much character in this at the same time.
I'm going to hit you up on that. I think that butteriness is actually coming out a little bit more as this had a little bit of a chance to breathe. It's getting butterier. than it was
It's still
the second
there,
one.
but it's not predominant, so it's not dominating the aftertaste.
Yeah. It's not
So
a
you're
big
still
oak
getting
monster.
that.
It's not a big oak monster.
Yeah, you're still getting that nice balance with the zestiness and that light sweetness that this one has.
Yeah. So what time is it now? It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Thereabouts.
So it's a wonderful little afternoon
a
pre-Barbie
wonderful
sort of
little
drink. Little
Pre-Barbie,
starter.
even during the Barbie, and continuing afterwards. I would say you quite happily sit down with a group of friends and knock off 2 or 3 of these. I reckon.
easy. So so if you're going to knock it off with 2 or 3 friends, you want to have it priced reasonably. What do you reckon you would
Priced
pay
quite
for,
reasonably, I feel. He's got the note. He's got
Come
it
on,
down there.
notes.
Look, I'm going to say that's around $20 to $25 bottle.
Oh boy, you're a clever fella, mate, because this is almost bang right in the middle. It's $22 a bottle. Yeah, I think there's a lot of dimensions there. And like I said, with different temperatures, you're going to have a different wine every time you try it out.
Absolutely.
Well done, Jess and Julie. Great work. Till next time. This has been Bogan's Guide to Wine. Get it in ya.
Now you can rock your very own Bogan's Guide to Wine t-shirt. Visit bogansguidetowine.com.au. Get it on ya.
I think that'd go quite well with maybe an Asian dish, maybe something with a bit of spice to it.
Yeah.
I think it would balance very nicely with that.
Maybe a little bit of Indian, something that's...
Maybe.
I think a little bit... Hang on, let's start that again. I'll just start thinking about food.
hang on.
My brain's been-